be doing like an ultimate book video, but I'm gonna start it off with a reading wrap up from July and August because I had my best reading months as far as quantity and quality. Also, a disclaimer, my ratings are severely skewed in a positive way. I'm a rater for enjoyment and a rater for like pleasure. So if I had a good time reading a book, it's probably gonna get a 4 stars base. It's really just vibes. So a lot of my books span from like the 4 to 5 range. That's just how I rate. So that's what you're getting into. You're getting into my opinions as a vibe rater. I need to never say that ever again. I don't know, a mood rater, maybe? I don't know. I would say I am a enjoyment rater. So I will rate based on enjoyment. In July, I read 10 books. I have everything written down on here. 3 were fantasy, 3 were romance, 3 were mystery thrillers, and 1 was a YA mystery. The first book I read was Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I rated this a 4.5. Pretty sure I gave Powerless a 4.25. Don't hold me to that. I rated Powerful like a 4.75. So this was just like, this book was, in its true essence, like nothing really happened. In its true essence, nothing was happening, but I do have tabs in it. Okay, I was eating it up. The romance, oh, I fell for the romance in this one. The first book, I don't know how here I was for the romance, okay? I'm gonna be so honest. I was like, Powerful. Oh, she got me. That one was really good. Reckless. This is where I fell in love with Peyton and Kai. This is where I was like, I get it. But the plot was basically nothing. Next, I read a novel love story by Ashley Poston. This one I gave a 4.75. It was so good. Reading a book about someone being put into a bookstore like world is like literally, this was like magic. Like, and I know that's like a little shtick. I've read 7 Year Slip and Dead Romantics, which are over here. I literally loved every single one of her books. She's like like for sure an auto-buy author. Like I never have a bad time reading her books, and that's really all we can ask for. Next, I read The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. I gave this one a 2.5 stars. If you know me / you will get to know that I really don't rate books that low. I barely rate under a 4, which is, some may say stupid, but 2.5 for this book because honestly could not tell you what happened. It was fun, it was fast, but it was kind of, it was just what it was. Like, I mean, I was not very, you know what, I could tell you what happened now that I'm thinking about it. It was kind of, I feel like the thrilling aspect of it didn't really get me at all. Next book I read is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I give this a 4.25. This book was so good. I heard people saying it was good, but I was like still unsure. And I also had like literally like no idea what was going on because I was told it's like very poetic lyrical writing, and it was so good. It was so easy. Like, yeah, in the beginning was I a little confused because I haven't read the trilogy that goes before this. Yes, a little bit. But I pushed through it. I was like, you know what? I can get it. When I come to these fantasy books, I'm like, you know what? No, you can commit and you can get it. You can understand. It was so good. The romance eats. Like, that's, you'll hear more of my thoughts later because I read both books of the duology. Next, I read Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulek. I gave this a 4.75. This book was so good. This is the one where this woman starts to nanny for this family and the little boy draws pictures and they get progressively more creepy. He has like an imaginary friend that pops up and then it just like, this book was insane. It was so good. I cannot wait to get my hands on a physical copy of it because I need like those pictures like in my physical hands. I have so many pictures on my phone of some of them, so maybe I'll give some examples of the pictures. But bro, basically the main character is a recovering addict. She nannies for these people to get like back on her feet vibes. So then I read Caught Up by Liz Tomford. This is the third book in the Windy City series, and this one I was so unsure of going into it. The first one follows Xander's, like a hockey player, and then it follows the female main character's brother and her best friend. In the second one, he's a basketball player. This one was like a baseball player, but like technically had no ties to the couples in the first book. In The Right Move, were they like mentioning him every so often to introduce him? Yes. Was he really in the first book? I really don't remember him from the first book, so I feel like it was like they put him in the second to get him to the third. However, I loved it. Miller, our main character, was like such a girl boss. Like, oh my god, she's a chef, a pastry chef, who is now like babysitting, because it's a single dad trope, babysitting, nannying for Kai, our main male character's son, Max. That was a lot of names at once. Basically, she's being a nanny for the summer because she's having burnout. I loved this. I loved the kid. He was like 15 months older, so like he barely talked, and that was so good because you couldn't be like, this is unrealistic, because he didn't talk. Brilliant book. What did I give it? I gave it a 4. It was good. It was a fun time. I actually really ended up loving it. Next I read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is my second Emily Henry book that I ever read. I read Beach Read very much at the beginning of my reading journey. People We Meet on Vacation, I gave a 4 stars. This was so good. I feel like I hear everyone saying this is their least favorite. And I was reading it and I was like, this is so good. How could you even think about that? I loved Poppy and Alex. This is a second chance romance. Is it a second chance, or is it friends to... I guess it's more of a friends to lovers second chance. I would like low-key say second chance. Like, I don't know. They were like best friends. They met in college and something happens and they don't see each other for like 10 years. No, 2 years. I was like 10 years, it was like crazy. 2 years. Poppy gets an opportunity to take another trip and she invites Alex. This was so good. I was eating it up. I was on vacation and I was eating this up. Next, I read Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is the second book in the Dance of Thieves duology. This was a 5 stars. This book changed lives. Like, I'm not even kidding. The first book was so good. You know, the plot was good, the romance. This one, the way that the relationship develops in this one was like, holy god. I was like so invested. The plot of this one was so good. The way that the first one ends, you wouldn't know what the fuck is gonna happen in this one. Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow. I cannot recommend this duology enough. I literally just saw someone read Dance of Thieves and not like it, and I honestly like don't understand. The plot was so developed, more than some adult fantasies, like adult romantasies I should say, are more, where's the plot? We're just getting romance. This one was like, here's the plot, here's the romance, we're all here. Then I read The Orphanage by the Lake by Daniel G. Miller. This one I rated a 3.75. This was pretty good. This was a thriller mystery about a woman is like an investigator, private investigator, and she gets approached by this woman named Madeline. I remember that because it's my name, who has her goddaughter or her niece or something go missing from this orphanage, and so she wants to hire, guys, I can't remember her name, she wants to hire our main character to investigate. And it was pretty good. The plot, I feel like it moved a little bit slow at first, and then it was really good. I was rooting for some characters. I was like, please don't turn out to be an asshole, you know, that kind of thing. And the like big mystery part of it was good. Check trigger warnings, because it could be triggering. If you have triggers, check the trigger warnings. If not, go into it blind, because I literally had no idea what it was, and I was like, the last book I read in July, the 10th book, god, this is long already. I reread A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. My OG copy, you can tell because it didn't have the 5 survive sticker on it, which that I don't think is removable. I've been seeing people hold up this book and it has 5 survived here. I'm like, ew, why would they do that? 5-star reread. I love this book. I love this series. Me and my sister basically like buddy read this series. So this series is just like means a lot because like me and my sister like bonded over reading it. This is a 5 stars. I really liked it. It was everything I remembered and like more. Like there were things I forgot that I would like got reminded of. Then I watched the TV series, which I thought was really good. I feel like Pip in the books is more energetic and I thought Pip in the show was more chill. So like in that way I guess they weren't what I thought, but it worked. Those are all the books I read in July, minus our Kindle ones. And now let's get to August before this gets too long. August, I read 9 books. 1 was fantasy, 7 were romance, and I had 1 YA mystery. Oh boy, guys, here we go. Starting out with our fantasy read. I read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. 5 stars. 5 stars. This book was great. This was so good. Like, I know that it's confusing at first, and I also felt that way. The first part is not quite what the second part is, or like I don't know exactly what the ratio is, but in the first section we fall in love with our main character, and then in the second section we then get to root for her, I feel like. So anyway, romance I'm speechless when I think about this book, so that's how I'm going to talk about it, is like in a speechless way. I have the indie version because I got it when I was in Vermont. It's like tinier, I think, like sidewise ways. I think it's not as thick, but there's not as much margin room as like the big one. 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I know, I'm sure this is not for everyone, but like, man, was I eating it up. And it honestly didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to take me to read it. So beautiful book. Next, I read To Catch a Firefly by Emmy Sanders. This was a 4.75. This one was so good. I watched Larry Reed's do her best books of 2024 so far, something, and she was like, read this book, it's so good, it's so good. So I was like, you know what, I don't have a Kindle read, let's read it. This book was so good. It's friends to lovers, it's male, LGBTQ, it's gay, it's beautiful. It was beautiful, guys, beautiful. The love confession, oh, I ate it up. And I want to get a physical copy, but can you like look at that cover? I don't want that. So if they republish that in a not that cover, I'll consider getting it. Go into it, please trust Larry. This is such a good book. Next, I read The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. Guys, I waited by my phone on my Amazon app refreshing to see when it would get delivered because I love Casey McQuiston. This book was very good. I rated it a 4.25. I have the, sprayed edges. Some things taste better together. This book is about Theo and Kit. Theo and Kit broke up when they were on their way to Europe to do a food and wine tasting tour. You get like a glimpse of it in the very beginning, and then it's like, okay, but now we're here. Now it's like 4 years later. Their tickets, their refund, whatever, will expire soon. They both decide to do the tour again. And then they got on the bus and they're like, oh, great. We booked it at the same time. They go through this tour together, guys. It's so good. It's very sexual. I mean, not like an overbearing sense, but it is like a sensual sexual book. So like, I thought it was very good and I thought it was well done. And I think it served its purpose for the story. I enjoyed it. It follows a non-binary character. Very good. 4.25. Next, I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. I rated this 4 stars. I loved Flawless. I understand why people love this series. The Eaton brothers are everything. Rhett, hello. I actually enjoyed the bull riding aspect of it. I didn't think I would. It was just all very good. I loved, oh my god, what's her name? Summer. Oh my god. How could I forget that? Oh my god, she was a badass. Guys, these characters are such badasses. I love a good, strong female main character. So Flawless was great. It's basically the moral of that story, and I thought it had really good, interesting like subplots, and like not just the romance. It was like, it was good. Then I read Love Redesigned. I read this on my Kindle, but I do have the physical book, and I did buy the second one before I had even read this one, but this one was so good. I rated this a 4.5. Julian and Dahlia have my heart. Anytime it had Spanish on the page, it would give you a little footnote of the translation. This was so good, guys. Like, I need to annotate this with what I put in my Kindle. Like, I can't express how much I like these romances. Like, I'm not very good at talking like this. I would say they're like rivals to lovers, maybe. That's what I would say. They knew each other when they were younger, but were very competitive with each other. Female main character is, oh my god, HGTV designer girly, like badass, like okay. Our male main character is a billionaire. This is called the Lakefront Billionaire series, by the way. So he's the Lakefront Billionaire, and it was just so good. I cannot wait to read the second one. I know that it's like a little bit different, but like I loved the guy's character in this. And then I read Play Along. Guys, I read so many good romances. Play Along by Liz Tom Ford, 4.75 stars. This book was incredible. I mean, everyone says it, but like, god damn, this is like the brother of the one in Caught Up, so this one's also baseball. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about this. Everyone was saying this was so good, like they were eating it up. Like Sarah Caroli, oh my god, gave it like rave reviews. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it because I was like, I didn't really like love what I was seeing in Caught Up. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it, about either of the characters really, because Kennedy, our female main character, was present in Caught Up, but like not very much. It's like the same thing of like what I got, I wasn't sure. Then I started reading this. Holy shit, I love them. I love them. Isaiah is like such a like golden retriever, like yes ma'am, anything you say ma'am. Ew, not ma'am. Like yes, anything you say. Like he is so and Kennedy, again, such a strong female main character. Oh my lord. It was so good. This is it's like fake dating, but fake marriage. Just, I would really highly suggest you read the Windy City series, especially Play Along. Like definitely like make your way through and get to Play Along because it was so good. Then we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I rated this book a 4.25. I enjoyed this book. Was it my favorite? No. Unfortunately, no. I wish I like had the strong connection that everyone has to this book. I don't. But it was really good. Win and Harriet. Win, at first, I was so unsure of because the way that we meet Win in the story, I was just like, Then I fell in love with Win. Then I wish I was dating Win. And Harriet, I liked Harriet. Could we have been more communicative? Obviously. But like most of these books, it would be 2 pages if they communicated, you know? So I'm not really knocking that. And the found family of it all, not even like found family, I guess, but like the friend group was very good. The conflicts of the friend group, like, wow, did those hit. I like the way that they worked through it. I don't know, just like overall, it wasn't my favorite. Like it wasn't giving me 5 stars. It wasn't giving me 4 stars either though, which is why I gave it a 4.25. Like I thought it was good. Like it was good. Objectively, this was a good book. I mean, I rated it higher than People with Me on a Vacation, and I love that book. Then I read Heartless by Elsie Silver. Okay, yes, I don't have Flawless physically. Yes, I have Heartless physically. And in this cover, I only have Heartless, Powerless, and Hopeless in the mirror covers because I can't find Reckless or Flawless to save my life. And you know what? That's fine. And I think I've decided if I like the whole series that I'm gonna buy, and this is so stupid, and like, you know what? It's my money, whatever. I might buy all of them in the regular covers and then just have like the special editions of the few that I have. I tried to buy Reckless in this cover and they gave me the UK cover, so that doesn't help at all. We'll figure it out. It's fine. Anyway, Heartless by Elsie Silver. I give this also 4 stars. I also really like this. It's another single dad. For some reason, our second single dad of the month. But this was so good. Guys, maybe Single Dad is my thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I do have her other series like Wild Love, and the next one is Wild Eyes, which I might be getting. There's more out there for me, so like maybe we'll have to just, I know, I'm pretty positive that series is a Single Dad series. All of them are single dads. Loved this. Like, the kid was, I think he's 5. It is an age gap, which I honestly like didn't really mind. I think it's like 30, 25 and 38 and 25. Is that pretty big? Yeah. I honestly wasn't thinking about that very much. I liked it. I liked how the pacing of the romance was very good. There was a questionable spicing that I was like, but like the ending was so good. It was so touching and like so good. Like, oh my god. The last book, finally. The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one I rated at 3.5 stars. It was good. When I was in it, it was fast paced. But it took me a while to read, I'm gonna be so honest. I like maybe could have read 10 books in this month. I didn't take as long to read this book as I did. But alas, it took me quite a bit. I did enjoy the storylines that were going on. I like flip-flop between liking one better than the other, but they both were good. They both were intriguing. One was more of like puzzle solving vibe that we get in the other books. 3.5, not horrible, but definitely not like the Inheritance Games trilogy. But I wanted to read this so that I could get to the Grandest Game. Those are all the books I read in August, plus all the Kindle Unlimited ones, which was a lot. So depending on how much I can shave down 40 minutes of that, now I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble's. I cannot believe I just said Barnes & Noble's. I know it's Barnes & Noble. I've always said Barnes & Noble. Why in this moment, when I'm filming a video, did I say Barnes & Noble's? Forgive me. My plan is to get Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I'm pretty sure that's out. If it's not, that's awkward. I don't need anything. I was thinking of picking up Binding 13. I'm thinking of picking up Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I'm thinking of picking up a Kristen Hanna book. There was some fantasy, maybe I don't exactly know. And Hidden Pictures, if I can get the physical copy of Hidden Pictures, that would be. So those are my thoughts about what I'm gonna get, and we shall see what comes to fruition. Okay, I went to Barnes & Noble and I did a little damage. So here's a little haul. First I got The Cursed by Harper L. Woods. Oh, these are gorgeous sprayed edges. I got the first one, The Coven, a couple weeks ago. I haven't read it yet, but I needed the second one to go with it because that's just how I am. Then I got Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. Still haven't read the first one, but I know I'm gonna love it. I've been loving her books. Then I really wanted to get Binding 13 because I wanted to start the series. And I looked and I was just gonna get the regular one. But then I saw this Barnes & Noble exclusive copy. And I was like, why the hell wouldn't I get the fun one? And it has, look, like pink sprayed edges. So I was like, you know, that's a sign as good as any to get this book. And look how, oh my god, it's so like thick too, and I love a thick book. Then I did get Frederick Bachman's Beartown. I want to start this. I'm pretty sure it's a series. And then I also wanted to dip my toes into Kristen Hanna, so I picked up The Nightingale, which seems to be everyone's like first. This is like the first one they read, or Firefly Lane. But I decided to go with this one because I do love France and Paris and whatever. So yeah, that was my haul. Look how epic slay moment. Another epic slay. I have enough points from Chipotle to get a free meal, free entree. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat my Chipotle, watch something. I'm just gonna sit here and read for like 30 minutes to an hour. I've been reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart, I believe. That's what I'm gonna read. Should be good, should be great. So it is a week or two later than I filmed all that, but I have another book haul. So I figured I would add this in because I haven't edited the video yet. I went to this bookstore called Indigo. I like randomly saw someone do a book shopping vlog thing, and they went to the store and it had indie books. Sometimes it's hard for me to justify buying a book on Amazon, and so if I can go in person and then just like make all my bad decisions in one go and also have it all and not have to like sit on the guilt, then I'm usually more inclined. Whatever. All that to say, I went to this bookstore because I wanted some books that I know are indie published, so I can't get them in other bookstores. What did I get, you may ask? Glorious question. First thing I got was the Windy City series, starting with Mile High. This is why I went, because this series is been a favorite of mine since I don't know when I read this, and I've loved these books. This one was just like, it took me a bit to get into, but I didn't like have a bad time reading it. Still, I had to get this because I had to get the entire series. And then the next one is The Right Move. This one is Xander's and Stevie. This one is Ryan and Indy. This one's hockey and the flight attendant for their team's airplane. This one follows Ryan and Indy. Ryan is a professional basketball player, and Indy is a flight attendant with the main female character of the first book. It's like forced proximity because Indy went through a breakup, she doesn't have a place to stay, and guys, it's actually really complicated. The main male character in this book and the female main character in this book are siblings, or twins. Female main character in this book convinces her brother to let her stay with him for like not very much money. That's how they're forced proximity, and then it's also fake dating. Then we move into the next two. Caught Up. This one follows Kai and Miller. This one's baseball. Oh my god, my brain. I was like, what is it? This one follows, wait. I never noticed this, but the bottom has like what sport it is. I guess this is like a lake for the ice hockey. This one's basketball, and then this one has the baseball diamond. Doesn't work at all for this one, but this one has a different, I'll get to it. And then Play Along, which is the last one, follows Kennedy and Isaiah, and oh my lord, I love that. I read this one like not even a month ago. This one has Vegas on the back because this one is, I guess, like fake dating, but it's like fake married, except for they are really married. It's a situation everyone gets into once in their life, right? Isaiah is the brother of Kai in the last book. So this is the entire reason I went to that bookstore, and I got these 4 books because I really need them for my shelf, and they're so pretty. I love the cityscapes, and I cannot wait for the 5th book, which follows another hockey player from the first book who's been so prevalent through the whole thing, and you're just like, come on dude, you can find someone. Like, it's so like, he's like a little puppy that has been with us through the entire series, and it's like, just give that puppy a girl. Also, no idea where I'm putting any of these books. I am pretty stocked up on every shelf, so I'm gonna have to do some reshuffling and hope I can make it work. Next thing I got, A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark or Stacia? Kingdom of Lies, book 1. Another indie published book. Like, I can't explain to you like how excited I was to just like hold indie books in my hand in a bookstore. Like, that's so stupid. Besides the point, I've heard so many great things about this book. I don't know anything about it at all. I think it's enemies to lovers romantasy, and I hear it's good, so I get it. That's what happens with me. So the main character lives in a world where when humans are born, the gods take their powers as like a bargain thing for protection. some humans manage to keep their powers, but they're usually destroyed, burned, whatever. Our female main character has powers, and they get discovered, and so she has to flee. And it seems like she makes a bargain with our main male character, I think. That's as much as I got from the back, and that's as much as I want to know from the back. God, I also love these floppy books. Next, I got The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. Another indie one. I have had this on my want to read on Storygraph. On Storygraph, I literally just, any book that I hear about in YouTube or TikTok or whatever, I just add to my want to read. So it kind of all adds up, but I know I added this one. So I'm really excited to read it. I don't remember, see, these are the things, I don't remember what people said about it. I just know I heard someone say it was really good. The back says, they stole his crown, so he stole their daughter. Yeah, it's giving like captor prisoner vibes. But again, I hear it's really good, so like we'll see how I feel about it. The next ones I got, none of these next ones are indie, and I could have gotten them at another store. I could have not bought them today. And yet, I feel like once I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in my hands, I said, what's another? What's another? What's another? Picked up A Little Life by Anya Yanagira. Nope, we're gonna go with that pronunciation. I know this book is heartbreaking. I know it's devastating. I know a lot of people think she should have never written this. How horrible of a human being could you be to read this? Not read this, write this. Or read this and enjoy it. But this book has been so prevalent in my entire reading journey. This book, I've seen it since day one of reading books. All the way to today, I just know I needed to own it because one day I'm gonna be like, today's the day. So I needed to own it. And it is so long, but it doesn't feel that big. Finally, I looked it up on the shelf and I went, you know what, get it now, Maddie, because again, you have put so many books in your hands. What's another one? And this cover is just so devastating. I don't need to tell you what this is about. You've seen this book around. You've seen people crying over that book. Next, I got Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I was like, for the longest time, I was like, I really want to read the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy before I read this book. And I still might do that, but I needed to get the purple sprayed edges. And Sarah Caroli's blurb is in this, and love that for her. The chapter art is so pretty. I thought it would be too late to get it with the sprayed edges. When I saw it, I had to pick it up. And I'm still debating. We'll see if I want to read Kingdom of the Wicked first. I don't know. Let me know. Then I picked up Apprentice to the Villain. I got Assistant to the Villain. When was that? Last year? I still have not read it, but I have it with the glorious red sprayed edges. Beautiful. And when I saw that they came out with the second one being red with purple sprayed edges, I was like, okay, now that's something I just like need. I got the second one before I even read the first. But these books are like massive paperbacks, which I love. I love a good massive paperback. And I just saw someone reading this book and they absolutely loved it. They were like, this book doesn't really have much romance, but I loved it. This one gave me all the romance and all the stuff that I wanted from this book. I'm glad I got the second one. Also, can we just talk about the red and purple combination of first and second books? Because I literally just read a series that has red roses for the first book and then purple flowers for the second one. So like it's also red and purple, and I'm actually happen to be putting this right next to him. When did we start doing that? Finally, last but not least, I picked up Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. This cover is stunning. Hello now. The sprayed edges. No soul can enter without an invitation. Like, it's so like marble. This is a book about vampires and dark academia. This is about our female main character. Her sister disappeared years ago, and she holds this one specific vampire responsible. Kinda is convinced a vampire stole her, the very vampire bound to their family. Dark academia vampire-ness ensues, and hello, that's like everything. I literally am so excited about this. Oh my god, the chapter art's so pretty. Also, like, this book is gorge. Look at the inside. And then it has a quote. Seek mine above blood, and if you must bleed, use it as ink. That is all I got this time. Oh, I put the one book away. These are all of the books. I just got along with all the other books that I showed you when I did that book haul, plus my July and August wrap up. And I hope you guys enjoy this ultimate gigantic book haul, because I certainly enjoyed reading and buying books, because that's what I always love. It keeps me sane somehow.